Edgy shit. Edgy shit. Motherfucking edgy shit. And here we go, special conversation time. You guys might know him from being my editor in season 1 and season 2 of Titans. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Indian Geek Society, Nona Prince. What is up, man?
Hi guys, everyone. Thank you for having me.
So yeah, man, you've been wanting to talk to me about this Titans episode for a minute now. Let's get into it, man. What did you think? These 3 episodes at the same time, at the same damn time. What did you think?
Yeah, I think that was a bold move, and I have to start with be editing your Titans reaction. It felt like I was watching it with you, and I'm the biggest hater of the first 2 seasons. I think the comment section knows that. I have edited my, quick bits in between the reactions. But I'll be honest, I was not going to watch season 3. I thought, okay, let's give the first episode a chance, then the second 2. And I think after Arrow, this is the biggest comeback ever.
I think that's what their plan was, essentially, is that they needed to spark the fire. They needed to show people. Yeah. They needed to prove that, Titans are back, baby. Yes. This is what they're trying to prove, is that it's an all-new show. It's almost a brand new show. Like, honestly, in some sense, if you never saw season 1 and season 2, you can actually do yourself a favor and skip almost all of that. And you would still have a fairly legit show, I think. There are references to season 1 and season 2. Honestly, I had no idea who that therapist was.
Yes, honestly, I was like, what?
I was like, when did this guy show up? Season 1 in the chat was telling me, no, dude, he was in season 2 and everything. I'm like, yo, he was the most most forgettable therapist person in the entire show. I mean, honestly, he's right up there with the second daughter that in Superman and Lois that just second daughter that suddenly showed
Lana,
up
right?
The end of the season here. I'm like, wait, they had a second daughter? They're like, yeah, she was in there briefly in the beginning. So but
I just had a question, isn't therapists not allowed to be involved with their clients?
Exactly. I'm like, yo, pick one or the other. Either you're gonna bang her or you're gonna help her. It doesn't work either way. That is creepy as hell, dude. That is so unprofessional, man. Come on now. That is, and I don't know if that's just simple storyline telling, or if that's kind of like a sort of spoiler or whatever, but in all likelihood, she's gonna get scorned. Something's gonna happen. She's gonna get too close. She's gonna get upset, and it's gonna end up bad for that dude. Probably.
Her sister is here, right? Remember?
Say what?
Season 2 ending. Her sister.
Yeah. So Blackfire is still around. If I remember correctly, Blackfire killed her ex-husband or something like that.
I think the person who was there to protect her, I think, Starfire. So there was this guy who was there to protect her. There was the whole ship and all, they were hiding it, remember?
Right. So what do you think was the most impactful part of these 3 episodes? Because for me, it was kind of almost like a large movie, so to speak, to watch this. And I think they purposely did it like that. But what was the most impactful thing for you?
I think episode 3 is one of the best of the Titans yet. I love how, they are building the relationship between all the characters. And they have this certain characteristics. And I want to ask you actually, because I don't know if you noticed that there's this kind of a humor they're trying to add, which is very, different from what we saw, the edgy shit and, dark and that no blue filter.
Right. Well, the blue filter was there. The blue filter was there. I did see that. Just a little bit, but thank God it wasn't overbearing this time around. Yeah.
But what about the balance? The trying to get the humor, little campiness, maybe if you want to call it, with the Starfire, how she's behaving in the battlefield.
But I think this particular time it was well balanced. That's the thing. It was well balanced, and it showed that they had matured, and actually it also showed that they have a story this time around. Like something that I've noticed, and I hate to say it, but without Rachel being around, the show actually is much better, because like it seemed like in the first 2 seasons they were trying to make more of an emotional drama concerning Rachel, and everybody's trying to protect her, and everybody, you know, Garth is trying to talk to her, Donna's trying to talk to her, everybody's trying to like psychologically like take care of her. And then in season 2, we saw a lot of that with Superboy, of like people are trying to, and then Hank and Hawk and Dove are trying to figure out their relationship. And it was just a lot of relationship talk and like emotional, like showing like how fucked up everybody is mentally on the inside. This one finally, it seems like they're actually an established team. They're actually working together, and that's something that we all have been wanting since the end of season 1. It's like, and that's kind of one of the problems I have with Doom Patrol, in a sense of like, okay, look, season 1, I get it, everybody's messed up, everybody's dysfunctional, right? Yo, get that shit together by the end of the season. By the end of season 1, you guys got to be somewhat working together and established. And I think that was the problem with season 2, was it was like, yo, still everybody's a mess right now, nobody trusts each other, whatever. And so to finally see that by season 3, you know, they're established, and it's like Dick is basically like, yo, I need help, everybody come to Gotham, and everybody rolls in like that. I'm like, that's great, I like that. And it's like no more pep talks, too much, and no more over explaining about how everybody on the team feels. Now nobody cares how everybody feels. It's like like one of the best and worst parts about it is when Jason died. I don't think anybody cared, actually. When Jason was killed, I think the only person that kind of cared was Dick. And Dick only cared because he was worried about Bruce. But everybody else was like, yeah, he was an asshole, so whatever, you know, he got himself killed. Like nobody was really blaming themselves. It was kind of funny about that. So
but what are your thoughts on how they, you know, kind of got rid of Batman, in a sense? That I think that was the biggest complaint, that they are relying too much on the, you know, Batman and his world. And now they got rid of him in a way. But did you like the execution of him, you know, losing it, killing Joker, and then leaving?
Yes, because it still stays true. It still stays kind of canon to Batman and what Batman's all about. This was kind of also brought up when Kevin Conroy played Batman, or a live action Batman, and he was a murderer. And like, and you know, there's always going to be that argument, unfortunately, thanks to the director, who we will not name, you know, making Batman a murderer and saying that's it's legit, that's how it goes down. But I thought that it was fine with this particular portrayal of him, because it's like, okay, so what do you do when you have a Batman that kills? In the CW version, we saw that he lost his mind. He went, no pun intended, batshit crazy, and gets executed, you know, gets electrocuted and dies, right? He's lost his way. He stopped being Batman at this point. And then here we go. We see what happens when this Batman gives up. He kills the Joker, and he's like, I'm out. And starts running, you know, like, and he knew. He was like, I think that's what, this is what's always been missing from Batfleck's interpretation, is the fact that it's like, look, if you break that rule, you're done, dude. The moment you do it, you're done. Like, it's over. The Batman Begins, I think, handled it the best, was even using a gun. Batman was horrified, and he's just like, throws it away in disgust, and it's just like, never again. So having that worked well, because I like the idea that, look, a Batman exists. We've never really actually seen him suit up, thank God, because that would have been terrible to see. But the fact that the entire time watching it, I'm like, yo, okay, as Bruce goes, it's fine. Like, it's not ideally my Bruce Wayne, the kind of Bruce Wayne this dude looks like he could barely pick up his glass and everything. He's drinking. He's at the end of the road here. Like, this dude's either going to get killed or he's going to retire, one of the two. And that's exactly what happened. It was like, look, okay, I can't do this anymore. Like, worst detective ever. He didn't even know that his ward was a junkie, you know, like, what's going on here? So I think they did a good job in that aspect, that it's like they gave you a Batman, or they gave you a Bruce Wayne that you will never see suit up as Batman, and they made you dislike him enough that the moment he exits out, you're not wanting to actually see Batman, because that's the one thing I never want to see on a TV show. I never want to see a TV version of Batman. Batman for me will always belong on the big screen, and I like to just kind of keep it that way. And so by doing that, they actually further Robin's or Dick's development as Nightwing, because while I didn't want to see Ian as Batman, I honestly would not be opposed to him suiting up as Batman for a while, putting on the suit. He's already halfway there. He's got this Batman and Robin looking outfit anyways. Put a cape on this dude, the cowl. I wouldn't be opposed to seeing something like that for just for a little while, because Gotham is going to need Batman sooner than later. So I wouldn't mind them doing some battle for the cowl-ish type storyline, and just him just staying as Batman for a while. It'd be interesting. It'd be very interesting.
I really liked how Superboy and Gar were used, because they are very OP characters, and to use them in some very unique ways, that it doesn't feel like, oh, they can do everything, that why not, why you need everyone else. But I think in the first episode at least, they used them very well.
Superboy, right? Right. Like, he wasn't just a bullet shield the entire time. Like, like he was going around, and I even like the fact that they included Crypto for a second. Even Crypto was there for a minute. I mean, they recasted him, but it's all good. Like, Crypto was up there doing the damn thing as well, speaking. That was pretty dope. And then to further your point, hey, Superboy, guess what? He's got a super brain as well. Like, he's the only person on the planet that was able to devise something like that using that Luthor brain, basically. I don't know if they've ever actually established that.
I think what they said was that he's super fast. We can do it again and again and learn faster than anyone else.
Cognitive learning. Okay. So he's got super cognitive learning. But what I was going to say was, I don't know if they've ever established that he's actually part Luthor. Like,
I think Mercury Labs created him, if I'm not wrong.
Okay,
it's not Luthor,
So we don't know we don't know what half he is then. Like, or in this particular world, all we know is that he's just a clone of Superman, and that's it. Like that. Because I don't recall them ever really interjecting the fact that he's a part Luthor, which would take a lot of explaining, especially if you've never actually introduced Luthor into this world. So at this moment, I guess, yes, you're correct. It's not the fact that he's part Luthor, it's just the fact that he has super cognitive learning abilities, which is really cool still. So no, I thought that worked out really well. The dude, you definitely could see that Corona hit him a little harder than, because he's not as fit as he was season 2, but it's all right. It's okay. Like, everybody works a little bit differently. I actually thought Hank looked better.
Oh my God, that guy.
Like, he's a tank, dude. Hank is a tank, and we see why, because he's always staying in shape. And they were gonna take him out in like 3 episodes, which is even funnier.
Dude, I didn't see that coming. They build it up very well, and I'm like, okay, is he really gonna die? Will they do it? And when they end, Superboy is done with it, I'm like, okay, he's safe. But the moment she clicks the gun and nothing happens, I'm like, oh shit, we are done.
Right. And so that's also kind of interesting, like, going back to what you were saying about giving Superboy more abilities, so to speak, or more to do. like even with all that speed and all that power, he was still too late to save Hank, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Which was actually I kind of thought was a little nod to BVS actually when the bomb went off, and so Superboy's there and Crypto's running up to him, and like, you know, he had to experience that. But you know, that also goes into one concern I have is, why is Jason so smart now? Like
that too, within 2 days.
Right.
He dies and next day he's redwood.
Right. But no, I'm just like, why is he so smart and cunning now? Like, come on now. Like it's a little hard for me to believe, because this dude is up here going from like, fuck Joker, getting himself killed, to being like this master manipulator and a guy like knowing everything. Like, I hope somebody is in the background helping him out or something like
Definitely.
that. Because I personally thought that Riddler would be kind of a good sort of basis for the person helping him out, but in all likelihood, I feel that it's Scarecrow, because Jason is, you know, and Robin, I mean, Dick actually mentions this several times. It's like, he's not that smart, and like, you know, he's barely studying. Like, he's studying chemistry, right? He's cooking. He's like I can see him making some drugs for recreational entertainment, but being this clever, putting things together, all the clues, the whole bird, like the streets with the bird names, you know, there's a lot that still needs there's a lot to answer for. Like, the thing traditionally with Red Hood was the fact that this dude had a lot of time. Jason in the comics and in the animated edition, he's had a lot of time to think this through. But as you said, within the span of 2 days, he was able to put all this together already. Like, wait a second, like, huh? Like, that's a little bit off. I felt like Hank's characterization was a little bit off, considering that the last 2 seasons, all he ever wanted to do was fight people, and particularly I think even in season as late as the end of season 2, you punched out Dick as well. So it's kind of weird that now he's like buddy with Dick, but that was kind of foreshadowing. I'm like, okay, he's got to die, because they're giving this dude a lot of screen time. He's repaired stuff with Dove. Okay, this dude's probably gonna die.
Did you notice, you know, in this season they have tried to make the characterization of each character different? Because I think in the last 2 it was all of them are sad, depressed, and, you know, dark. And whereas this one, okay, Hank is a little flamboyant, Gar is like a child and a geek.
Yeah.
And I think Dick Grayson is smiling, even as Nightwing. So
he's smiling and he's actually playful. He's actually being a very accurate representation of Nightwing, going around like, you know, he's like, look, let me put one of these away, hey, whoa, pop, like that. And then even the whole move that he did with like electrocuting the metal thing, I'm like, all right, this dude is doing the damn thing like that. And that's what's kind of cool about this. It's like, he isn't brooding Batman. And you know, when Bruce asked him, do you want to beat Robin like a fucking junkie or something, I'm like, what is wrong with this pedophile looking ass dude? Like, although what I will say is it was kind of cool Easter eggs, the fact that they showed all the Robins from different time periods looking to be recruited and such. And then even with Tim, we got Tim Drake here, which interesting enough, they made him part Chinese apparently, which was a spin. Or I mean, he may not be half Chinese, or he could be adopted. I don't know, but you know, he was talking to his mom in Cantonese. And it assumes that his entire family works at that Gotham Chinese restaurant, and that was his father, who was black, but his mom, I'm pretty sure that was his mom, was Chinese. So so like I thought that was kind of interesting that they kind of mixed it, which is kind of cool. I like that, you know.
I think the only character left is Starfire. We talked about Starfire, I guess. She's having visions, right? My guess is that she's seeing what Jason went through. Do you think that?
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
because there's the guy strapped in and people are taking him away.
Right. So you think that Starfire can actually see what Jason has been seeing,
Yeah.
so she's seeing other people's memories. That's a possibility. Like, I have no idea. In all likelihood, my thought, I hope it doesn't turn out this way, because it would just be so simple, is that Scarecrow is essentially running things like Hush did in the comics. So Scarecrow is been doing all of this, and he thought it'd be a kind of a cool little thing for him to do. I kind of like stoner Dr. Crane getting high, but it just seems like it's way too coincidental that Jason has been cooking up something among it might be fear toxin. I feel like it's a mix of some sort of Lazarus type genes or something. That's why he could come back from the dead, right?
Yeah. They name dropped Ra's al Ghul too, right?
Right. So Ra's al Ghul actually exists in this universe, and quite casually. If Dove is able to like mention him like that, I'm like, wait a second. Okay, so y'all know about Ra's al Ghul? Like, I wouldn't put it past him. My thought is the fact that Jason is doing a mixture of fear to like some sort of no fear toxin like that, like a steroid that he can breathe in, and then there's a mix of the Lazarus sort of genes in there, and they bring him back. I can't imagine Bruce being the one to throw him in a Lazarus pit, but
possible.
That it's possible. That's why Bruce was kind of nonchalant about Jason dying. Like, he almost acted like he didn't really care, right? And they mentioned that that's kind of what he does, but I don't know, because at the same time he was trying to recruit Robin, so like, so that's another thing, right? So who knows? Now the real theory, the one thing that people were kind of asking was like, that one time when Jason actually called Hank, is that actually Jason? Was he acting, or is that actually him? Like, is that Jack? Is he having kind of a Jekyll and Hyde type of feeling right now, where he's kind of split between two brains or whatever, two sort of personalities? The Red Hood is the sinister person that's trying to get revenge, where Jason is still around, but he's of two minds right now. I don't know.
Yeah, something like Slade Wilson had in season 2 with his son entrapped in himself. Remember that?
Right. Not necessarily that, but I think it's more of a psychological thing.
Yeah, I get it.
But yeah. Oh, wow, that's right. Jericho was actually in Slade like that, right? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see, but right now I kind of like the current storyline, and eventually, and then they also talked about resurrection, because they even mentioned like Starfire was just like, yo, can we just bring back Donna then? If that's the case, if Jason can come back, can we bring back Donna? Is that a possibility? We don't.
She's on the poster.
Right, she is on the poster. I mean, we still have two Titans that haven't really come back yet, so it'll be interesting. But right now, it seems that the balance is working out fairly well. That's the thing. Now that Hank is gone, I guess that's fine that we can bring in Rachel, and hopefully she's a little bit better developed. Like, I think that's what this show is succeeding really well, because it has grounding right now. Everybody is not a nutcase. The only nutty person around right now is Jason. So which we don't know his method. So it's kind of intriguing that we don't know why. Like, why is he so mad at the Titans? Like, that part I don't get. Like, the last time we saw him, he felt kind of spurned from the Titans, and he was at Donna's funeral and drove off in a motorcycle.
He was dating Slade Wilson's daughter, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Jade or whatever her name was. But they were dating, and then he was all upset because they were both abused or whatever, and he felt lied to and blah blah blah, and he just ran away like whatever. So like I wasn't a big fan of that storyline, but my thing is like he seemed perfectly fine in Jason's sort of world, just going back working with Batman. He seemed fine, you know. So it's a little weird that he's so mad at the Titans in this particular situation, like trying to break them all up. Like, why did he want to kill Hank? Like, it's weird. This part is a little weird. So hopefully they explain that well.
I think there was this dialogue, right, that even the Joker started like this as a Red Hood, you know, wearing red hoods and all. So maybe they are building that like he's turning into a Joker, just chaos. And, you know,
you might have that might actually be a thing. What if he's inhaling the Ace Chemical type product?
Yeah.
Like he's okay. So of course you've seen Batman Beyond the movie, right?
No.
Really?
I know this. I think I know the story.
But you're familiar with the Robin story, right?
Yeah.
All right. So what if that's exactly what's happening then? Like, what if, like what you said, is that they're kind of borrowing pieces from that because they can't have Joker, they can't have the Joker on TV. But what if essentially they are creating their own Joker to par with Nightwing, basically. And then so Jason, the Red Hood, is essentially becoming the new Joker for the Titans to fight or something like that. That would be very Batman Beyond-ish a bit. So,
but because, you know, killing Hank, is there a redemption possible now? Because, you know,
right?
That's the thing.
Yeah. No, there's no saving Jason in this particular situation. Like like there's no like. Yeah, I could like he's never coming back. He's never going to be on this team again, the Red Hood, right? As far as I could tell, right? But who knows? I mean, like there's no going back after that point. Like you blew this dude up. Like, look, if you hurt him, that's one thing, right? But I don't know. That's a good question, man. So what are you looking forward to for upcoming episodes here?
You know, I'll keep my expectations low because every time they end very badly. So I just hope they just continue this balance they finally got between the characters. And also, we didn't talk about Barbara. I think she was good.
Right.
Again, you know, what's your thoughts on, you know, there's so much story in the dialogues that has already happened with Barbara, Dick, and everyone. So do you think we could have seen that, or it's okay? It's all right.
It's all right. Like to be honest, I feel like the actress is a little dry. Like her lines being delivered are kind of like not necessarily cringy, but it feels like she's kind of just delivering a lot of exposition, which is fine, but sometimes it lacks the impact. Like I'm like it doesn't really feel like she even believes in what she's saying. Like when she was talking about her father being killed, like, okay, let me just throw a couple of F-bombs in this conversation, and it kind of loses sort of the sort of feel, and she looks very uncomfortable being commissioner half the time. Like it's kind of weird, but you know what I kind of think in my own headcanon, I feel like the Killing Joke, when it happened, when the Joker shot her, like he cut her leg off as well, because like I thought that was quite interesting for them to go that particular route. Like she like legit just has one leg instead, so we will never see her coming back as Batgirl. We will never see her doing Oracle stuff because she is the commissioner. So that's kind of cool that they're going in this kind of a different direction. Mr. Freeze killed Jim Gordon. That's pretty wild as well. But yeah, no, I mean, I like what they're doing, and I kind of see how they're utilizing. So she'll be around a few times.
I think they're building that parallel, right, between Dick and her, because both are living up to their parents' legacy.
Correct.
So that's an interesting thing, and I like the dialogue when she said, you know, when Bruce did what he did, but when someone close to you die, will you do the same thing? And he's like, no. And now Hank is dead, so what will he do? That's the question, right?
Right. Because the whole thing is that they're trying to tear the team apart. Yeah. And that's the thing. That's the biggest problem, is like, I hope we don't start getting sad sack episodes after this. Like, we got a great start here. I don't want to see 4 or 5 episodes of everybody needing therapy again, and you know, Rachel comes back and they got to explain everything to her, and like everybody's just gonna be depressed, and like, so next episode we're gonna see Starfire going to her therapist and explaining what's going on with Hank, and I don't want to see like slow episodes. That's why for me personally, I kind of feel like it would have been better if they released it weekly instead, because if the next couple episodes are going to be kind of slow, that'll be kind of boring as well. So hopefully we just get some good answers about what's going on with Jason's motives. See if we can seamlessly bring back Rachel and Donna. I have no idea how they're gonna bring back Donna. Like, the way she died was dumb, but bringing her back, they got to be careful that way, because I mean, there's still a body, right, with her. So I don't know. You know, is the Lazarus is Nana Parbat going to be included somehow?
Didn't they go to Wonder Woman's in season 2, and the end she left with Rachel to Themyscira,
right? Yeah. So either they bring her back from Clay or something like that. I don't know, but you know, I'm interested, man. This was a really good start, so I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to
some edgy shit.
Yeah, guys, make sure you check out Nona Prince here at the Indian Geek Society here, the IGS. You guys could be your own crew right up there with the JSA, the JLA, the Injustice Gang. There you go, the Indian Geek Society. Make sure we'll leave the links and everything for you in the description and in the comments. Thank you very much for being part of it, Nona, and always a pleasure to have your comments with the edits. Everybody enjoys them, right? Yeah. So we'll talk to you guys on the next one. Peace.